Alright guys, what is up? Hopefully that's actually gonna overflow with the intro probably, but hello, what's up? This is the 7.2 common test or public test or mass test or whatever you want to call it. And this is the M18 Hellcat. Um, you might notice the underscore rue. That is because Wargaming decided to break everything involved with the public test, so I'm on my Russian account. If I didn't have this Russian account, I would be unable to log in at all because they horribly, horribly broke it. So, um, like if you're a beta tester and you don't have a Russian account, you can't log into this test because you have your European account, and for some reason they decided to pick that over North American accounts. So they're all banned, so you can't log in. But anyway, this is the 7.2 test. You might notice a few things. One is this training over here, which I will show in a separate video once this goes live, mainly because it's in Russian. I'm also on the part where it wants me to go into a battle. It's several battles long worth of training, and they explain stuff as you go, as far as I can tell. It seems like it would be pretty good training for new players. We'll see once it gets translated. I obviously can't read Russian very well, or at all, I should say. I can do translations on the intertubes, but not in something like this. Another thing that's drastically changed, and some people didn't seem to catch on to this, is the way stats are displayed in the garage and on the information screens and like the text screen and stuff. Like for instance, I'm sure a bunch of people have the M4 here. We look at this 105. The rate of fire and accuracy, all that stuff's going to be different than what, and the aiming time, all that's going to be different than what it is on 7.1. Also, view ranges on tanks are going to be different. Where is it at? View range, there it is, 332. That is definitely not, and the signal range, all that stuff, all of it has changed. This is due to the way they've started displaying it now. Previously, it displayed the maximum attainable value with 100% crew, chocolate, uh, the ventilation, all that good stuff. That's the maximum attainable. Now it simply shows 100% crew. So that is what you will have when you get to your maximum 100% crew level, and then you can stack on more as you add rammers and whatnot. Like for instance, if I take this rammer off here, actually I don't know if it does that. Let's test that, shall we? We'll learn something new. I don't need that gold anyway. Nope, still doesn't update for that. I think it does update here. I might be mistaken though, but it doesn't update over there. So we'll add that back on. See if it updates. No, it didn't. Oh well. I thought it would, but alas, it did not. Um, Other than that, I can't, due to the incompetency of Wargaming, I can't really test anything I want to in the US tree, such as the M103 and T110, as well as I'm working on the tank destroyers because they're going to be easier to get than the tier 9 and 10 heavy tanks. But I will show you the stats for those of you who have not seen the pictures. Here are the base stats for the tanks. They have very little crew. Well, actually, that one has two loaders. This one, T110, has very little crew. It's a pretty small tank. Um, but there's the stats. These stock turret stats are horrendous, to be honest. But due to the slope, it does decent. It's not terribly good. Hull armor on this thing's kind of deceiving. It's 127, but due to the angle, it bounces quite a bit more things than it really should. At the top there, where it starts sloping back into a level part, it auto bounces basically everything that hits that. Other than that, they keep the 120mm gun for both of them. I believe this one gets a better 120, I'm not quite sure, but there's the stats for both of them. You can see all that goodnesses, and I will show you the gun upgrades and stuff for this. You get new engines for these two tanks only on those two tanks. They have their own engines. I'm pretty sure M103 it doesn't share anything. It shares this gun, but this is the stock gun now. You don't have to. In fact, I think the T34 was that the stock gun. I can't remember. But you now have two 120mm guns. I believe this was the old one. This one right here, M58. I can't quite recall. I could check, but I believe that was the old one. It's a pretty good gun. The one you get before that is also a pretty good gun. 242 pin, kind of crappy accuracy, but the rate of fire is pretty decent. And the plus side of that is I don't believe you need the tracks to mount that gun. So instead of or the turret for that matter, excuse me, instead of the huge, 100,000 plus experience grind to get a somewhat usable tier 9 tank, you can now only get 25,000 experience grind to get a somewhat usable tier 9 tank. Again, I can't test these due to Wargaming's screw up, but whatever. I think you can actually mount everything without the tracks. 31. I think you can mount everything without the tracks. Or at least pretty close to everything. That's probably less than this. That's the same. So you should be able to mount everything, or at least pretty close to everything. Sorry as I move my microphone. So that's cool. T110, obviously it's elite still. The T30 over here, which was moved, I will show you that. This is its stock stats as it stands now. I believe it starts with the 105. Yeah, it starts with a 105 now, and you can get the 120 anti-tank or the 155 anti-tank. Same guns as the T95 gets. Quite literally in the same order. I believe you need tracks for that. No, you don't. Okay, so you can get the 120 on there without tracks. I think you're going to need the 120 for the one. Herp, derp. I think you're going to need the tracks for the 155 though. So keep that in mind. So there's that tank, and that's the stats for it. Reduced HP. I believe it has reduced maneuverability a bit. Turret traverse, kind of stuff like that has been nerfed. View range, I think, is still pretty close to what it used to be. All the armor was untouched, all that stuff. The gun, same. Well, actually, it's slightly better, I think, than the. Is it slightly better or slightly worse? You know what? Actually, I'm gonna go with it's slightly worse than the T95 because typically non-turreted tank destroyers have the better gun to compensate for that. So I'm gonna go with that. So it's gonna have the worst of those two stats. So it's gonna have .39 accuracy and 2.9 aiming time, if I'm not mistaken, as well as a horrendously low rate of fire. It's 3 rounds per minute, which is very, very low. Especially, let's go over to 704 here, which I'm pretty sure has 4. Actually, no, it has 3.5 now, so that was decreased when the change happened. So it's half a round per minute less. That's actually pretty bad. It is still a pretty good tank. I don't know why people keep complaining and saying it's useless, etc., etc. It's basically a T95 with slightly less rate of fire and a turret. Well, minus the armor, of course, but then you have more maneuverability than that. I don't really like the T95 unless certain circumstances are happening. But here's what I'm mainly interested in this line, and that is the T28 prototype. There's an interesting thing about this tank in that it cannot turn its turret 360 degrees. It has a turret, it cannot rotate it completely. That's just a problem with the design of the tank itself. That wasn't something Wargaming did to it. If the tank even existed to begin with. I'm not even sure if this tank existed to begin with, but apparently it was intended to fight at the Siegfried Line, so this tank gets the 120mm gun that the regular T28 gets, obviously with slightly less stats. And it gets what I believe to be better armor. It says it's less, but this lower plate, if anyone who plays a T28 can tell you, this lower plate area is extremely weak. You can hit the cheeks on this thing pretty easily. The sides are made of tissue, obviously, but so are the sides on this thing. And it's got this slope all the way up it. It's got this slope, except for there's a little viewport and a machine gun port over there. Those might be weak spots. I haven't quite tested enough to try that. But it's got this slope, 203mm front armor on both the turret and the hull, which is really good. The rest of the hull is crap. I'm actually going to put these side by side here so you can compare them. Speed's exactly the same, traverse is exactly the same. This adds the turret traverse on that, so it can actually bring its gun around to bear faster than the T28. So keep that in mind. View range, signal range, both the same. I believe they both share the same engines as well, but I believe the T28 prototype gets slightly... no, it gets the same hit points. It doesn't get a gun upgrade. We can see the gun stats here. You have an entire round less. Oh no, I keep forgetting the T-30 shares this gun. So this one's going to be a bit harder to figure out, but I think this 6 rounds per minute is the T-28 prototype, and it's going to have the same aiming time and accuracy, the .39 accuracy, 2.3 aiming time. It is a very good gun though, this 120 millimeter, so that's a quite capable tank. One thing to note is you can cross over to the T-28 non-prototype from this tank, so keep that in mind. If you want most efficiency and you have not gone down the tank destroyer tree, you can cut across at the T-82 here, go straight down to the T-28 prototype, and cut back across to this T-28. That's going to cost quite a bit from the T-28 prototype, but it's going to cost less overall than going straight down both trees. So that would be the most efficient. That is, of course, if you don't want the Wolverine and the Slugger and all that stuff, which are both pretty good tanks. In terms of the Hellcat, which I'm going to try and show a match here of, I may as well go ahead and get in queue. It's basically a faster Slugger, is for all intents and purposes, is what it is. It's made of tissue, quite literally made of tissue. It's pretty quick. It's kind of maneuverable. It's got the standard American tank destroyer slow turret and slow traverse speed kind of thing, but it's a pretty good tank. I'm going to show you this fight here whenever it feels like loading. One thing I'd like to point out is this installation is on my standard hard drive, and I am recording at the same time, so it's not going to load basically at all. But I load very, very quickly when I'm not recording. So this improvements they've done are fantastic, and I'm actually going to cut the recording here real quick just so it finishes loading. Okay, there we go. About 3 seconds after I stopped the recording, it finished loading. Now I'm going to get horribly murdered in this kind of matchup. What kind of medium tanks do we have? We have basically no medium tanks. I was contemplating going hill, but no one appears to be going hill, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass on that. Because they have a Lorraine and a T-44, and those are likely going to be going hill, so I'm just going to go this way. The Hellcat, it lacks a little bit of acceleration, in my opinion. It could be a bit better on the acceleration. My crew's not maxed out, so keep that in mind. They're at about 90%. So this, you can obviously see this is a really quick tank. You can kind of act like a scout tank destroyer, and my ping is kind of freaking out there, just a wee bit. But if you get hit by anything at all, especially something loading HE, it's going to hurt quite a bit. There's no way I'm going to pin him, not at all. Also, you might notice the over target markers have changed drastically from previous versions of the game. This is all unmodified game, so anything you see here, and there's no sound, by the way, for those of you wondering if the speakers are broken. For any of you wondering what's going on here, this is a completely unmodified version of the game, so I'm actually going to go somewhere else because I can't really do anything over here. Don't turn into me, you idiot. Not sure why he wouldn't just turn the other way, considering there's buildings to cover you in this direction. Now you can see here the turret traverse speed is incredibly slow, so if you start trying to circle something or something like that, you're gonna get, or something tries to circle you, you can very easily get killed like that. That was a bad shot, but I'm gonna blame that on lag and call it a day. So as I notice here going back, it looks like a whole bunch of people went hill. I'm not sure where their big boy mediums are at, but I'm just going to go ahead and go up here. Why not? Why the heck not? Couldn't hurt. Well, actually, it could hurt. Oh, there's the T-44. Once again, I'm made of tissue. These guys up here are dying. So I'm probably just going to end up getting killed before I even shoot at anything. Someone needs to kill that friggin' T-50. And I hope he doesn't come up here, because then he's going to maul me, and I'm not going to be able to turn my turret. That is the main drawback of this vehicle, and that guy's on fire, is its inability to turn its turret, basically. And I'm basically just suiciding. For those of you wondering what I'm doing, I am suiciding. In an attempt to showcase how squishy this thing is. It has a really good gun, but it is extremely squishy. He's just going to sit right there, isn't he? Yep. You have a very small chance of bouncing things on your front turret, but don't really expect it to do anything crazy, and I just bounced off the T-44. Fantastic! That was a game anyway. I think they changed the menu again, or did they not? I'm not sure. People were complaining in the forums about that menu being changed. What else can I show? Is there anything else I can show? The IS-7, IS-4, all that stuff. The size was changed. I can't show it because the freaking Wargaming screwed up my account selection, so I can't show that to you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this thing out because I'm gonna use free XP like a boss later. I can't go ahead and show that to you guys, but what I guess I can show is the KV5. Why not? Why not? You guys haven't seen it. I may as well just go ahead and throw it out there. It's a very squishy tank given its armor ratings. It does fantastic against lower tier stuff. For instance, tier 6 or something like that. It does fantastic against due to its rate of fire and armor and all that kind of stuff. But anything with decent accuracy and 160 plus pin can just shoot your little radio man in the face right here on R2-D2 in the front. And that will basically pin every single time with no real threat. Also, T-34 premium tank, you can see it right there. They're all tier 8, obviously, because I'm at the top here. So maybe you guys can get some of that. I was contemplating buying it for test server reasons. I probably should have, but I went ahead and got the KV5 because I'm interested in actually purchasing this thing. Or was interested in actually purchasing this thing, so I decided to give it a run on a test server and see how it goes. But also, I streamed a little bit of test server yesterday, Friday the 9th. I'm pretty sure this isn't going to. Well, actually, it might go up today. I don't know. It's the 10th today. I'm going to be streaming later as well some more World of Tanks stuff for those of you interested. If I remember, I'll try and put the Twitch TV link in chat. Also, if you ram someone with this thing, it is horrendously strong. Like, I've taken off like 800 hit points just ramming something with this. It's crazy. Of course, going down a hill makes it even better because this thing has a high top speed and a huge weight. So you get this thing going down a hill at 40 something kilometers an hour. You're basically just going to barrel roll over everything. Quite quickly, actually. This thing's pretty slow on flat ground. It loses speed really quick once you start trying to turn it as well. And uphill due to the weight of this thing. But once you get it going down a hill, it is basically unstoppable. I'm not sure if I want to go straight or up with that Lorraine. I'm going to go up. In the event that they have something in the D1 area, I can ram them to death. Or kill this M18. I'm not sure which one. If I can get up here before he's dead, I can kill him. M18's a pretty good tank. I'm going to go ahead and get it on the live server whenever that comes out. I do enjoy it. Obviously, you can't get the best matchmaking on the test server, but it is a really good tank, a really fun tank in my opinion. So I will grab it. I'm going to try and go down... Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm going to try and go down the American tank destroyer line just a little bit more. You also might notice it says enemy is located in the right side there. It will also say enemy is damaged, spotted enemy is damaged, and that'll let you know you're getting credit for it and stuff like that. I'm trying to just like nip his tank around the corner there because I'm just mainly waiting for my teammates to wrap around behind them at this point. This thing's got some pretty good armor for people who don't have the time to aim. Other than that, though, it's basically screwed. Now, the problem here is they're rushing me, and my teammates are taking way too long to come help. So I'm probably going to end up getting killed by this AMX back here. As I bounce off of that guy. And this Lorraine is not particularly helping. I'm not sure what he spent all of his ammo on, or what he's doing, but there he goes, Christ. He should have been firing quite a while ago. I'm not sure why he's still not firing. Whatever. You can see up there, disclosed enemy, blah blah blah, KV5 was damaged. That's letting you know you're getting credit for someone being damaged while you are spotting them, so that's a pretty cool new feature. You can see, obviously, look at where everybody shoots this thing. Everyone shoots it right there, and I just ran right into him. He's just going to back up into the corner there. Oh well. Anyway, you can see where everyone shoots this thing. They all shoot it right there on that R2D2 thing. It's a huge weak spot, and they really need to change it. It's so easy to hit it. It just makes the armor on this thing completely useless. Which is why I said I used to be interested in buying it. If it didn't have that giant, huge weak spot, it would be a fantastic tank. It would be capable of bouncing, the occasional 175 pin shot. It'd basically be immune to anything from the front that's lower than that, which is what it's supposed to be. It has a crappy gun for all intents and purposes for a tier 8. Unless you know how to aim anyway, and then it's a decent gun. Oop, don't hit him. Jeez. I'd hate to hit him going down this hill, because that would probably take a fairly decent chunk off his health. Or maybe I should have hit him and then demonstrated that. I don't know. I'd rather not get in trouble on this server. Especially since he has a US tag on his name. I'd hate for him to get all huffy puffy and start yelling at Russians about doing something when I'm not actually Russian. And is anyone going to go back and stop that? We have a tank destroyer in our base not stopping the cat. Lordy. Oh well. Oh, there they go. It's whatever. It's the test server. I don't really care. Hopefully, a bit later on, I can have some more stuff to show you. I'm not sure how the heck that happened. It looks like they hit the front and passed through the entire turret and hit the back somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. We're going to lose, though, because those idiots can't seem to figure out how to stop the cap properly. Oop. We may yet win. It's unknown. I killed one of them. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's it for my showcasing of this for now, until either they fix the stupid server and let me on my actual account, or I get down to the T28 prototype, and then I'll showcase that and the T25-2 or /2 or whatever the heck it is. Uncertain exactly what it is, but whatever. If you want to see some more stuff, I'll be on the stream doing some streamy stuff later today, theoretically, unless something happens. But regardless, that is it for now, and I will see you guys later.